Bikaner district of Rajasthan, and within it, a small village, Nawalgarh. Scorching sand stretched far and wide, intense heat waves, and scorching sunshine poured down from the sky. Life here was like a desert, dry, difficult, and unforgiving. Wells and ponds had dried up, and the biggest struggle in every household was water. There were frequent fights in the village square. Whose pot would be filled first, who would get 2 pots of water, and who would be left with nothing but thirst. In this very village lived a boy, Irfan. He was only 16 years old, but the burden of responsibilities had bent his back prematurely. His father worked as a helper on an old truck, earning so little that even a month's ration was barely enough. His mother swept and mopped other people's houses. Only then could the stove burn. Their house was made of mud and sackcloth. A small room, where sunlight peeped through the roof in summer and water dripped during the rainy season. Irfan's morning wasn't like that of other children in the village. He'd wake up at 4 a.m., put an empty pot on his head, and walk 5 kilometers. The scorching sand burned his bare feet, but he needed to fetch water. Sometimes the crowds at the well would be so intense that he'd have to stand in line for hours, and by the time he returned home with his pot full, the sun would already be blazing. Then he'd have to help his mother, get his younger siblings ready, and somehow make it to school. He only had one uniform, a torn one, which he'd have to wash every night and wear in morning. His feet were worn and broken slippers, which would leak dirt as he walked. The children in class would often make fun of him. Look, this poor guy is going to become an engineer. He'd face taunts, laughter, and insults, but Irfan remained immersed in his books. He had a dream. Someday I will bring glory to my village. This dream kept him from breaking. His greatest strength was his teacher, Sharma Sir. One day in class, he said, "Children, circumstances change people, but the real winner is the one who changes them." These words penetrated Irfan's soul. From that day on, he resolved that no matter how difficult the path, he would overcome the circumstances with his hard work. A few days later, a science exhibition was announced in the village. The children's faces lit up upon hearing the news. But as soon as Irfan's name was mentioned, everyone laughed. "You have neither books nor tools. What model will you make?" The laughter continued, but Irfan remained silent. He thought, "Those who have nothing have ideas, and that is the greatest strength." He collected junk from village to village. Old pipes, broken buckets, empty bottles, and a small motor from his sister's toy car. He worked hard all day. His hands were covered in blisters. But finally, he created a small model, a water-saving system. In this, water dripping from a pipe would collect in a tank, where it would be filtered and used for farming. On the day of the exhibition, the children displayed their dazzling models. Some were electric cars. Some were experiments using expensive chemicals. The crowd was watching. And then it was Irfan's turn. His model might have looked simple, but when he began to explain that the system could save every drop of water in areas like our village, the entire hall fell silent. The judge asked, "Where did such a brilliant idea come from?" Irfan bowed his head and said softly, "This is what my village needs. I just thought of it." At that moment, for the first time in the darkness of his life, a ray of hope shone. After winning the village exhibition, it was now time for the finals at the city school. But getting there wasn't easy. There was a shortage of daily bread at home. Even the bus fare seemed prohibitive. So his mother pawned her small silver anklet and earring. As Irfan was leaving, his mother placed her hand on his head and said, "Son, you're not just carrying your dreams. You're carrying the dreams of the entire village." These words burned like fire in his heart. The first time he arrived in the city, his eyes widened in awe. Tall buildings, well-decorated streets, air-conditioned halls, and students from prestigious schools gathered there. Everyone had magnificent and expensive models. Someone had built a solar car, someone a drone, someone a water purification machine. Everyone was confidently giving presentations in English. Irfan felt as if he had entered another world. Waves of anxiety surged through him. His hands became wet with sweat, and his throat went dry. When his turn came, he somehow mustered up the courage and placed his model on the stage. At first, everything went well, but suddenly the motor got stuck and the water flow stopped. The entire hall erupted in laughter. What does a village boy know about technology? Irfan's eyes filled with tears. His heart nearly sank. At that moment, he remembered his mother's tearful face, his father's tired eyes, and Sharma Sir's words. Circumstances change people, but the winner is the one who changes the situation. Instead of giving up, he showed courage. He bent down on the stage, unscrewed the motor, removed the stuck dirt, and reconnected it. And then, as if by some miracle, the model started. Water slowly began to accumulate in the tank and cleanly flowed out into the fields. The entire hall erupted in thunderous applause. Every eye in the room was amazed by his hard work and confidence. The results were announced. Irfan's model came in second place. For him, this victory was more precious than gold. With this achievement, he received a scholarship, an opportunity to attend RTU College, and honors from the government. When he returned to his village, the same people who once mocked him now started citing him as an example. Children would run to him and say, Irfan Bia, we have a hero in our village. That day,